Master.
Oh,
Here we
nice.
go. Cool. All right, Calvin, we're good to go. I'll give you a sec. All right. Hey, everybody, welcome to WCAX. We're kind of a bit of a late start this morning. I just want to get you on the horn, and we're talking all about state property taxes. A lot of things, big concern this session, and of course, there's really no one better suited to talk about that than our State House reporter, Calvin Cutler. He has covered this extensively. He actually went to there's a meeting yesterday from the Scott administration sitting down with Democrats to kind of discuss some of those plans. First of all, Calvin, good morning. I know you're on the way to the State House this morning, so kind of fill me in here. I know yesterday House Speaker Kowinski said some of these ideas are some of the most fiscally irresponsible that she has ever seen. So we did kind of a rundown of those this morning. Kind of run us through some of what those were and what you heard about yesterday.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much, John. I mean, one of the biggest questions for state lawmakers this year is what are they going to do this year to blunt or to try to prevent a forecasted, it was originally about a 19% property tax increase because of just this confluence of factors that are facing schools, but also our school funding formula as well. At the end of the legislative session, state lawmakers passed the yield bill, which sets the statewide property tax rate and fully funds school budgets. That ended up at about 13.8%. For Governor Phil Scott, that was still a non-starter. He had vetoed that bill, essentially saying that it's going to hurt Vermonters in the pocketbooks. It's going to exacerbate homelessness. It will force people out of the state, and it will raise rents. And so that has been the governor's main concern. He wants to see that property tax rate chipped down to about 4 to 6% is something that's palpable for him. And so for the past few weeks, the governor has really been teasing this plan or an alternate proposal for the yield bill to try to buy down the property tax rate even more this year to provide relief while getting the ball rolling on medium-term cost containment measures, like caps for school budgets and things like that, and also bringing people to the table to start the longer-term process of systemic education reform. So yesterday, there was a meeting between members of the Scott administration and House and Senate leadership and the chairs of the money committees in the legislature. And they pitched, the Scott administration pitched several ideas using excess tax revenue surplus from May and June, about $20 million to buy down that rate. Also eliminating the universal school meal program and instead going back to a needs-based approach that would save about $20 million on property taxes. Also putting one-time revenues in the state budget from the general fund to the education fund. And most controversially, the Scott administration also proposed finding about $47 million in savings by draining down the Ed Fund reserve. And they had a plan to buy it back or to pay back into it 20% each year over the next 5 years. And that was, the Scott administration said this was a buffet or a plate of options, I think is what they said.
Yeah.
And they said they'd all need to be taken together. But this plan, these ideas faced very stiff criticism from Democrats yesterday, as you pointed out.
Yeah, and that's kind of lead my next point. We have House Speaker Jill Kowinski saying there's some of the most fiscally responsible. Phil Burr saying some of them throwing out the window. I guess my next point is just as a reminder to me and some of the viewers here, the deadline's coming down the pike. What's that time frame look like as far as getting this done?
Yeah, well, so right now, now that this proposal, by and large, is a non-starter, Democrats are not going to take it up. The yield bill, property taxes have to be, we have to know what the statewide property tax rate is by July 1st, the start of the new fiscal year, which is coming up. As I mentioned, the yield bill has been vetoed. And so now without this alternative proposal, the only other way forward is for Democrats to override the governor's veto on the yield bill next week at the State House for the veto session. It's going to be really interesting. We're going to see a lot of really passionate and, really reflective debate, I think, next week. You know, a veto override vote certainly is a lot different than a committee vote. It's different than a floor vote. There's a lot more politics and arm twisting, and in some ways, it's a test of loyalty. In some ways too, depending on the policy. So it's going to be really interesting to see. But Democrats say that they are going to attempt to override the governor's veto, not just on that bill, but also on others involving safe injection sites and renewable energy. So it's shaping up to be a very a very busy veto session.
No, of course, Calvin. And of course, we look forward to your coverage next week as well. I know you're on the way right now, so I'll let you head over there, of course. But Calvin Cutler, thanks so much for kind of filling us in on stuff, filling some gaps, of course. And of course, you can see our coverage as well. You can see it on WCAX.com. So, Calvin, I'll let you hit the road there. And with that in mind, I will bring in meteorologist Peter Kavakauskas. So, Calvin, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Peter, what can you tell me? What do you got here?
Well,
We're taking a look at
finally,
the Echo Cam
how
here.
about a little bit of sunshine out there? Finally, you can see that from our Echo camera right now. A little bit of welcome blue skies and sunshine. It's been a little bit since we've actually all seen that sunshine out there, and we're going to start to see more of that here as we head through the course of the day today. But talk about a chillier start to the day for some of us. As a matter of fact, take a look at that low temperature at Saranac Lake. Got down to 37 degrees this morning. Elsewhere, not quite that chilly. We were generally talking to 40s and 50s out there, but starting to warm things up nicely. Well, really nothing but blue skies and sunshine out there. The view from Burlington, Newport, Rutland, Linden, all showing off a good amount of sunshine here to kick things off on this Thursday morning, and that's helping to warm us up a little bit already. Most of us talking temperatures at this point back into the 60s. Montpelier is still kind of lagging behind. They're sitting at 59 degrees. Elsewhere, we're generally talking about the low to mid 60s out there. We're going to keep that sunshine going here as we head through the course of the day today. As a matter of fact, that's going to help to propel us back into the low and mid 80s here as we head towards this afternoon. So here's how we look on Futurecast. Maybe a few more high, thin clouds begin to filter in here as we head towards this afternoon. But again, for the most part, I think we're still talking plenty of sunshine out there. Heading towards your day, heading towards this evening, maybe a pop-up shower or thunderstorm, but again, most of us should stay primarily dry here through the course of the day on this Thursday. Take a look at this. As we head towards tonight, actually, you can see a few showers begin to make their arrival generally after midnight, especially across northern New York and into the Champlain Valley. This gradually works its way south here as we head towards daybreak tomorrow morning by about 8 o'clock. Got some rain showers across central and southern portions of the area. Then as we head towards tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, daytime heating good enough to pop up a few more showers or thunderstorms, especially across central and southern portions of the area. There is the potential, especially across far, far southern portions of Vermont, right along that Massachusetts state line, that some of those thunderstorms could potentially be on the stronger side. The good news is, quickly out of here by the time Saturday morning rolls around, we're talking sunshine, and that sunshine that'll stick around here through the entirety of your day on Saturday. And really, we're talking nothing but sunshine here basically through the entirety of the weekend. First on your forecast here through the rest of the day today. Again, as I mentioned, we'll generally talk daytime highs in the low to mid 80s out there. Mostly sunny skies overhead. Chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm, like I said, but most of us should stay primarily dry. Tonight, overnight lows, they'll fall back into the 60s out there for most of us. Increasing clouds overhead. Chance of a few showers and thunderstorms generally across the northern half of the region here for the day today. Or tonight. And then as we head towards your day tomorrow, most of us are going to climb back into the 70s and lower 80s. Chance of a few more showers and thunderstorms, especially the further south you look. The good news is, like I've mentioned before, the weekend forecast still looking downright lovely out there. As a matter of fact, plenty of sunshine for both Saturday and Sunday. Saturday a tad cooler. We'll talk upper 60s and lower 70s for highs. Sunday, I think we're all back into the 70s. Plenty of sunshine for both weekend days. But take a look at what happens as we head towards next week. Tuesday and Wednesday, we start to get in on that heat and humidity once again. As a matter of fact, I think a lot of places by the time we roll around to Wednesday, you couple in how we're going to feel with that humidity, a lot of places probably going to be talking about real feels close to 100 degrees. So, yeah, it's going to be hot, hazy, and humid here as we head towards midweek next week.
That's something I always like. You always see the temperatures and all that, but
yeah,
the real feels, the wind chill, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You just, hope for the best.
Yeah, and you know
that's
what?
you
Dew
got.
points climbing back into the 70s.
Oh.
When you get dew points in the low to mid 70s out
Yeah.
there, that's downright
You're-
tropical. I mean, it might as well be Florida 2.0 at
Yeah,
that
you're
point.
swimming in it.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, thank you, Peter. Well,
Yep.
of course, some good weather to look forward to for Father's Day.
Yeah.
At least keep that in mind. as
Yeah,
well.
the
So,
weekend
yeah.
forecast, stunning.
Yeah, Peter, thank you. I
Yep.
think that does it here for us on WCA Extra. Of course, if you want to see any of the coverage, especially Calvin's coverage on the Yield Bill, you can go to WCAX.com. And you can see Peter and I on the noon show as well. So
Yep.
yeah, we'll see you then. We'll leave that, and we'll leave you to the rest of your morning here. So have a good one.